Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. So as promised, today is our first Underground gear review. We're revisiting the Normatec Pulse 2.0 system. So Normatec re-released the Pulse. They made it smaller. They made it app enabled, Bluetooth enabled. So there's some upgrades I'm gonna show you throughout the video, but I wanted to do a little bit more with this video than just make a gear review video. And why should we consider intermittent compression device like the Normatec in general? So we're going to look at the science of compression. We're going to look at kind of the neurophysiology behind what happens to your brain when you put compressive forces on your tissue. We're going to look at what happens to your circulatory and your lymphatic system when we use something like an intermittent compression system, kind of leading towards our actual review of the new unit, the new updates. I'll take you through some of the features, what I like about it, and hopefully by the end of the video, you will know exactly why you want to use a Normatec, not just that it's an awesome piece of equipment. With that being said, we also have a great discount for you guys that Normatec was great to hook us up with. So we're going to do this a little bit different. Further ado, before we get into the nitty gritty, let's start talking about why we want to use something like the Normatec. Handwritten note in here. Really excited to get this in your hands early and hear your feedback. Let's plan on talking once you get a chance to play around with it. We can't wait to get your thoughts. Brendan, my man at Normatec is always hooking it up. Oh my goodness. Wow, look how small it is. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of the actual Normatec 2.0 Pulse review, what I wanted to talk briefly about is the science of compression. Now, a lot of us assume the Normatec is really just affecting blood flow, but there's so much more to it than that doesn't get talked about. And so what I wanted to do with this video is share a little bit about what happens to your brain when you compress soft tissues, and how does your brain and your nervous system interpret that information. So our body uses our senses to interpret what's happening around our outside environment, and treatment in the Normatec is no different. It is a stimulus to my nervous system. Right, so as this Normatec arm sleeve is filling up, what it also represents is a neurosensory input. I can feel this compression all up my arm right now into my chest, and that feeling is stimulating my brain, right? So what I'm doing is I'm stimulating mechanoreceptors being tiny little organelles within our skin and fascia and muscles that give our brain this kinesthetic sense or proprioceptive sense. It's what our brain uses to feel our outside environment from a physical or touch perspective. So there are two very specific mechanoreceptors that we are targeting with deep, sustained pressure, like the pressure that we get from the Normatec. That would be a Ruffini ending and a Merkel disc. Now, we can't only stimulate those, but because they're responsible for understanding that deep pressure and shearing force of our skin and our tissues, the Normatec lends itself really well because of that oscillating pressure to stimulate our Ruffini endings. And what we know about Ruffini endings is that they've been shown to kind of be the keystone to that parasympathetic nervous system as it relates to the sense of touch and our brain's interpretation of touch. So that is why deep compression using the Normatec can really be a great adjunct for recovery from a recreational athlete all the way up to professional athletes, because it gets you into that feel so good state of your nervous system. So we can't talk about the Normatec without talking about your lymphatic system. Your lymphatic system is the waste removal system for our body. It helps transport toxins and metabolic waste, and your lymphatic system doesn't have a heart. It doesn't have a pump of its own. So it relies on your movement, the action of your muscles to create enough pressure to push lymph through the system. As each of these chambers fills up from distal to proximal, distal meaning further away from my heart, proximal meaning towards my heart, what's happening here is we're actually creating lymphatic and venous return. So what the Normatec represents is a nice external pump. It's easy to use, and we can use this external pump as a way to create this fluid cascade towards our core, where your circulatory system can now get that stuff moving and get those toxins out of your bloodstream. So again, one of the reasons I absolutely love this product, and I'm not getting paid for this video, I share this with you guys because this is something I've seen value in for over a decade. I've owned every Normatec unit they have. This is by far the best one, but we're taking advantage of how can we induce or optimize somebody's recovery. Okay guys, now let's get down to the meat and potatoes and actually review this thing. And to be perfectly honest with you, it hasn't changed a whole lot since the former generation. So I brought out the Pulse generation unit, which I shared with you guys in my last Normatec review. So if you really want to know more about this development, you can go check out that earlier video. Just know that that coupon code has changed, so you're going to come back to this video for your discount. But before we get to that, I just want to show you guys the difference between this Normatec Pulse model, and this is the new Normatec 2.0 Pulse model. And the biggest difference that you guys are going to see right off the bat is the size difference. This is 27% smaller than the Pulse unit and lighter. Still made, again, with incredible quality. I think the glass on this is much nicer than on the previous model. You can see on mine, you know, it's been used for a couple of years, a little scratched and dinged up. This one is really nice, very clean, very sharp looking. Another really cool thing about this is this has Bluetooth connectivity and its own app. So for the first time, you can actually control your Normatec via your phone. So I'm gonna flash a little screen record video of my phone using this right now and show you just how easy using this app really is, right? So once I'm on my home page, I'm just gonna scroll over and open my Normatec app. It's gonna ask me to pair my device. And right off the bat, it'll say, wow, your favorite pulse is found, because I've already connected to this unit. So I'm gonna go straight to connecting, and you will see that I automatically get to the same screen. It's basically displaying the same screen that you guys are seeing on the unit itself. Some of the features I wanted to highlight here is, yes, I can change my settings, I can change my compression level, and all of that is being, you know, wirelessly controlled on this unit. You can see the time units changing, whatever you want that to be. But also, one of the advanced options to this is looking at you being able to change these different massage patterns, right? So you can go to a more traditional sequential type of intermittent compression, or the patented Normatec Pulse, which is the one that I really prefer. You can clarify how many zones that you want to use. So if you're really targeting maybe an ankle sprain and you really just want to use some light compression around that swollen ankle, again, if it's swelling, guys, do be careful. Use lower settings and then gradually work your way up. Too much pressure can flood the lymphatic system and create some pain and issues there, okay? But you can set your leg zones, you can choose the number of zones. The other thing that you can do with this is actually integrated with other apps, okay? If you're an endurance athlete and you already are using apps like Strava or Training Peaks, is this Normatec app will basically integrate with those apps, and you can record your recovery sessions and either share them with your endurance coach or just track your sessions for you. Another really cool feature. Another really important thing to note with this new update is that the accessories are exactly the same as the old Pulse model. So if you're a clinic owner or a gym owner that has one of these and you're thinking about maybe adding another one, definitely go with the newer one. Not only is it cheaper, which is pretty cool, but also the exact same hose attachments and adapter plug also work in the new 2.0 Pulse. So you don't have to get a whole new set of hoses or adapters for it. You can use the ones you have, which makes this an even better update, is that the older boots, or they're actually the newer generation of boots, which I love, are gonna be compatible with this unit as well. But I also have a really special discount and a really special code for you guys to use. So for the launch of this video, the code's only gonna be active for a couple of weeks. But afterwards, if you see this video way after the launch and you're interested in a discount, I can help you, but you're gonna have to reach out to me directly. And that's out of respect for Normatec. They are doing us a tremendous favor by allowing me to offer you guys a unique discount to purchase your own Normatec system. And we wanna make sure that that code doesn't get spread all over the internet and used for people that are not watching the video. So this is a video exclusive. So for the first 2 weeks of this video's launch, the code that you guys will see in the description below will be active and you can use it for, I think it's $50 off this unit. Now, when it comes to price on this, really important thing to consider is that the guys at Normatec not only made this product smaller, lighter, and better with an app integration, they also made it less expensive. And this is the second time they've released a new model and made it less expensive. So this is the first time, if you're new to this and you've been considering one for a while, I can remember back in the day when these things were $2,000, $2,500 plus for a full system. Now you can get a full system for under $2,000. A base model is about $1,200. So go ahead and use that discount code, save yourself a little bit of cheddar, but understand you are getting a market leader in recovery for the lowest price that they've ever offered on their newest model. Guys at Normatec, thank you so much for your support of this YouTube channel. And for all of you out there wondering if this should be something that you consider, I highly recommend it for the reasons that we talked about today in terms of great for that lymphatic and venous return, optimizing blood flow to enhance recovery, but also that neurosensory input that can really bring your nervous system into that nice relaxation mode. So lots of great benefits to this. It's extremely low downside, meaning there's very little risk involved with using this. I recommend this to all of my professional athletes and any of my athletes who are interested in really taking their performance to the next level by prioritizing quality recovery. All right, guys, just wanted to say thank you for tuning in to today's Normatec review video and the science of compression. I hope you guys enjoyed the new style of content, bringing a little bit more of that educational background to even something like a simple gear review. So make sure you go over and give those Normatec guys a follow at NT Recovery. You can follow us on Instagram at The Movement Underground or me at MikeStella_ATC. Come visit us at themovementunderground.com. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Coming up next, we got a session sit-in video featuring an acute ankle injury and what you want to do in those early stages of an ankle sprain. So stay tuned next week for that video. Until then, thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys next time.